Hello again. Today is Wednesday, August 16th, 2023. This is a second reading for today. The previous one was rather short. It was from decanta.com. So this article is from wineenthusiast.com. And once again, I'm trying to read this English article to practice English by reading it aloud and memorizing new words or already known cliches on the spot right away. And also, I would like to learn more about Japanese whiskey and the mizunara oak. In Korean, mizunara oak is totori or sangsori trees. There's hwariapsu, and they are used for the mizunara oak trees are used for growing mushrooms in Korea. The mushrooms are quite expensive, but they just grow well on the trunks of dead mizunara oak trees. What is a Japanese mizunara oak and is it worth it? By George Kutsakis. Oh, it's the same guy, same author. He just contributed. He just wrote an article for decanta.com, which I just read a couple of minutes ago. So let's find out what he has to say about the Japanese oak. He seems to have in-depth knowledge about Japanese oak trees because he worked for whisky.com in Tokyo, whiskey company in Tokyo. Mizunara casks, Bowmore. Photo by Greg Mazur. Globe track images. Mizunara oak, it has a curious ring to it, scarcer than European and American oak, and much more expensive. Its story is deeply rooted in Japanese history. At the end of World War II, Japan faced shortages of medicine, food, and other daily necessities. The lack of imported casks to age whiskey was the least of the country's problems. But the spirit was spirit was popular with occupational armed forces, so whiskey makers had to do something. Distillers began to use the native oak mizunara. Today, many whiskies from Japan, the US, and even Scotland use mizunara. Add the word to any label, and odds are those bottles won't last long on shelves. 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 The word to any label. Yet, many of these whiskeys spend mere months in these casks. So, is the allure of mizunara simply a marketing strategy, or does it make for a better spirit? So, is the allure of mizunara simply a marketing strategy? Allure. Many of these whiskeys spend mere months in these casks. Photo courtesy of Yamazaki Distillery. Behind mizunara's rarity, Hirotsugu Hiyasaka, the previous head cooper of Nikka and one of the country's most respected figures, says that there are many difficulties working with mizunara. The oak does not grow straight. It has a high moisture content and it's much more porous than other varieties, he says. It doesn't grow straight. It has more pores in its texture, and it's a hollow inside, right? It has a high moisture content. These issues make the casks prone to leaking, Its name, after all, translates to water oak. Hayasaka says that while Japanese oak from Hokkaido stays together better, because of the area's colder climate, it's still not great. He believes that American oak is better both in usage and the balance of flavors imparted to the whiskey. Mizunara needs to be around through 200 years old before it can be cut and used for casks. While some larger distilleries have access to forests, rights are often suspended to allow them to regrow. During these times, the available wood is sold at public auctions. The huge demand can cause prices to skyrocket. A single cask now costs more than $6,000. That's absurd. Distillers both in Japan and abroad have a hard time getting their hands on a cask. It's a competitive business and large producers often get the first pick. The huge demand can cause prices to skyrocket. A single cask now costs more than $6,000. While maturation time doesn't define the quality and depth of whiskey in general, it's more important with mizunara. Many distillers and experts claim that whiskey must mature in the cask for at least 15 to 20 years for the right flavors to be imparted. Any less, and the surfacing notes are too intense and sharp. Harsh woodiness overwhelms subtler flavors. Harsh woodiness overwhelms the subtle flavors. Too intense and sharp. Too intense and sharp. Surfacing notes are too intense and sharp. Photo courtesy of Yamazaki Distillery. The mizunara difference. When left to mature correctly, a mizunara-aged whiskey offers complex notes of sandalwood, coconut, spice, and Japanese incense. A stellar example is Yamazaki Mizunara series, with the most recent being the 2017 edition. Aged 18 years in the oak, the whiskey's immense balance delivers a burst of coconut and banana, aromatic incense, and summer spice. Suntory's Yamazaki Distillery is well known for its management of mizunara, and many of its famed expressions feature the oak's influence. The Chichubu Distillery, Japan's most famous and beloved small distillery, goes further with its use. All of the sites are washbacks. The container where wort is is fermented. I think the wort is the uni. Wort is fermented, are made from Japanese oak. All of the site's washbacks. The container where wort is fermented are made from Japanese oak. It's said to give Chichubu whiskey its character. Glendalough released its 13-year-old Mizunara finished single malt Irish whiskey in 2017. For the credit, Getty and Glendalough. Pernod Ricard's 2014 release of Shiva's Regal Mizunara, a blend finished in the oak, was originally exclusive to the Japanese market. It took 4 years before the bottling would be released globally. While the expression is smooth, drinkable, and very pleasant, its short time spent in the Japanese casks has imparted almost none of the known mizunara notes. Damn, only a marketing strategy. Similarly, the sought-after Bowmore Mizunara release, which sold out quickly and now sells for double its original $1,000 retail price, double its original $1,000 retail price, spent mere months in the casks. Washback. Let me go back and find out what the washback is, right? It says container. Yeah, washback. So those are washbacks? Very big cask, washback. Okay, got it. The Yama whiskey from Bainbridge Organic Distilleries on Bainbridge Island, Washington, is aged in 10 and 15-gallon casks, very different to the much larger puncheons, 70 to 100 gallons used in Japan. 10 and 15-gallon casks. The smaller size means that whiskey comes into greater contact with the wood, so notes are imparted faster. The exclusive use of Japanese oak in the Bainbridge bottling has created a unique American expression which brings forth many subtle flavors of coconut, grain, and spice. Distilleries like Bainbridge and Chichibu in Japan are experimenting with smaller casks and different production methods to extract the most from mizunara. Distillers also search for faster, easier ways to use the wood. In the meantime, the best plan is to look to top distilleries known for their well-aged mizunara expressions. Cask parts at Yamazaki, followed by George Kutsakis. Whiskey Distillery, Yamazaki, number RF0085, pot still, pure malt whiskey, 1979. I wonder what the brown handles are for. Mizunara, how does it affect whiskey? So, how do Mizunara finished whiskeys taste? We sampled 3 bottlings finished in Japan's Mizunara oak, a smoky Islay single malt, a mellow blended Scotch, and a fruity Irish whiskey to see how the cask finish transformed the spirits. The cask finish transformed the spirits. A smoky Islay single malt, a mellow blended Scotch, a fruity Irish whiskey. Spoiler alert, each is excellent in its own way, like the silkiest version of each base spirit. For those who prefer brandy to whiskey, later this year, Cognac Park will be releasing a Mizunara finished cognac. The first such bottling of its kind, Cara Newman. Interesting. Brandy, cognac. Right? Brandy and cognac, they are made from grapes, from wine. And they are using the Mizunara oak to give the finished note to their cognac. And it's the first such bottling of its kind. Balmore Mizunara cask finished single malt Scotch whiskey. The first single malt Scotch finished in rare Japanese oak. This limited edition was released in 2015 with only 2,000 bottles produced. Overall, the cask finish serves to mellow its Islay whiskey's smoky core, creating a harmonious mix of sweet spices, vanilla, and soft peat. plus the barest hint of mouth-watering salinity. Wow. ABF, alcohol by volume, ABV, 59.3%. That's very high. I like the high spirit. Mouth-watering salinity. Barest hint of salinity. That's good. Yeah, salt in the whiskey. Mouth-watering salinity, ABV, 59.3%. Shiva's Regal Mizunara blended Scotch whiskey. Typical of Shiva's, this blended Scotch whiskey is designed to be mellow and smooth. The mizunara finish pushes that characteristic even further. The palate sinks into velvety palate coating layers of honey, sherry, and almonds, finishing long on clove and ginger sparks. Released in 2014 and intended for the Japanese market, is now exceedingly difficult to find but worth the search. ABV 40%. The palate sinks into velvety palate coating layers of honey, sherry, and almonds, finishing long on clove and ginger sparks. Glendalough Mizunara finish, single malt Irish whiskey 13. This light, fruity Irish whiskey dries out a bit, morphing from typical fresh apple and pear to an intriguing mix of plum skin, unsweetened chocolate, and coconut. This particular bottling is aged 13 years in former bourbon barrels, then finished in Mizunara oak. New release for 2018, ABV 46%. Last updated May 4th, 2023. So obviously many spirit makers are using or experimenting with Mizunara oak. Some use the smaller cask, like a 10 to 15 gallon cask, because smaller casks give their flavors in a very faster mode, right? And what else? Some cognac companies also experimenting using the mizunara to give the finish to their cognac. That is the first. That's the first bottling of such kind, right? It's the first bottling of its own kind. What else? So this article is from the Greek guy, Kotakis. This article is from Wine Enthusiast, and the author is George Kotsakis, right? I like Greek food. As a matter of fact, I would like to live in Athens or Santorini. I've been to Athens and Santorini in long time ago. Mizunara oak, that's oak. So oak trees, Japanese. But most of the liquor stays in the oak, Mizunara oak for mere months, like 3 months at the top. Fruity, velvety, fruity, Irish Islay, exploding on the clove and ginger, velvety smoothness, and a bare hint of salinity, with a bare hint of salinity. The cask is now like $6,000. That's damn expensive. Chichubu. Single malt, and so on. Yep, that's it. Thanks for listening. Take care, everybody, and have a wonderful evening, or how red wine is made. Join us on Instagram. What is the thickness of mashita? Same as mashita, Chichubu mashita liquors. Like, what is it? Yeah, I'm trying to learn the best bottles of mashita to buy. What? Also, it's a combination of several blogs, several articles, right? which I don't like. I would like to focus on one article each time, man. Subscribe to our newsletters. Yes, I will. Okay, that's it. Thanks for listening. Bye bye. Take care.